Yeah, I got the light. Yeah, it
Hmm
looks like we're live, sir. Let's see. Ah, hold on, let me make sure.
See, that's why we need an introduction. Y'all tell them. Tell them. Tell them. That's why we need music.
Oh my goodness. Yes,
Tell
yes. That's
them.
why we need music. All right.
We need. That's what we need,
We gotta
man.
be we gotta give them the ghetto version first, then we go ahead with all that. No, I'm just
Why we gotta do the ghetto? Are you saying
the,
it?
the
You saying
ghetto
it
the
black?
ghetto version is the show is on. The show is on. You're like, dang, all right, you said the show is on. All right, fine.
You know what? We can do better. We can do
Yeah,
better. That's
no, for
all I'm.
sure. But you already know that I like to do excellence with stuff, so I'm definitely gonna look for that for sure, so
Yeah.
we can make
I mean,
sure.
we can consider this our dry run or what have you, but
Yes,
I know
yes,
we can do better. Yeah.
yeah. We know
Listeners,
better, so we can do better, right? Like you said.
y'all let us know. Y'all let us know. Can we do better or what? Come on.
Oh my goodness. All right, all right. So, sir, all right. Before we get going into this,
How about we say hey to the folk that's watching?
yes.
How
Hello,
about
everyone. Hello, everyone. Don't pay. We having our little chatter. Don't pay us in too much mind. But anyway, welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. We've had some umbrella shows that have fell under Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. We have Unscripted, which was the morning drive-in. We've had the Conversation Room, and we have a new one in pilot. We're gonna call it the Know Better Do Better podcast. No
that?
better. It's going to give us a chance to kind of branch our wings. We still love our relational love talk, but we're going to branch our wings into different perspective. People write in, they want to hear us talk about different things. Mr. Robert Lee, how are you, sir? Appreciate you for jumping in and showing some love,
Yeah.
sir. Appreciate it.
What's up,
Appreciate
brother?
it.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Appreciate
Just so Mr. Lee has been, let me tell y'all just really briefly, Mr. Lee has been a conduit. He was one of the key conduits back in the day that pushed me to go from just going to the studio. You know this, Adam, bringing
Yeah.
home recorded music, but not releasing it. I would bring it home because I didn't care to release. I just loved the music. I didn't care if nobody heard it. I just wanted to hear it myself, what I wrote or how, it's a feeling to write something, to record something, and then to hear your finished work. It's a euphoric feeling. But nonetheless, Mr. Lee told me, hey, he said, what good is this music that can bless people if you're the only person hearing it? So
That's right.
he encouraged me to push it and go ahead on and release it to the masses, and such is life.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Much love, sir. But
Yeah.
anyway, yes. So today, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And today's show is a little it's in our similar vein, but it's a little different. We're talking about today, and I'm sure I'm now. This wasn't one of the things that pushed this show, but it kind of falls in line. So I'm sure there's no secret to everybody seeing the whole what do you call it? The whole Will and Jada stuff that's happening in the world, and all this stuff is going on.
Yeah.
It's the crazy stuff that's happening. So we all see it, but the topic of this show is titled, Why Are You Here?
Mhm.
And the purpose of that is really all about purpose. And the reason for me driving this message is I look at it like this. Um, Basically, if it doesn't make purpose, it doesn't make sense. So think about it this way: if we peel back the layers of most relationships and or marriages that have struggled to maintain, etc., you will find some misalignments as it pertains to purpose. Now, what do I mean when I say purpose? Let's just say let's take it back to Martin Luther King, right? Martin
Mhm.
Luther King was this great man who had this great cause, right? Now, that's not to say his wife had to have the same calling as he did, right? But she had to have a calling of support or compliment to be able to deal with a man like Dr. King, right? So I'm saying that to say a lot of times people we connect simply because we like something about a person. Oh, this person seemed like they would be good. This person is handsome. This person is fine. This person got a great job with benefits. Oh, this person is this, that, and the other. So we like them for all of the reasons that have nothing to do with the real reason we should be together, and that is to propel purpose. Really, if what we are doing doesn't push purpose in one form or another, and I'm not meaning it from just saying a ministry or something like that. It could be whatever you do. The purpose, the people in your life should be able to supplement and complement what we do, and it should be apparent. So that's the reason of us talking about this show today, to kind of give us pause to think, okay, I'm in this relationship, or I want to be in a relationship, or I'm dating this person, but have I took the time to really strip all things down and say, aside from me liking them, aside from me just wanting to be with them, do
Mhm.
I fit into this person's world? And so that's a question that we need to ask, and fitting into that world, I'm referring to it as purpose. Mr. Ford, before I get, I have some, I have my little list over here. Before I get deep into it, go ahead. I don't want to turn this into last week, so you go ahead,
Oh
because I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go in
yeah.
on the more they're gonna go, and that's gonna be it. Go ahead, say what are your thoughts?
No, he had a whole service last week all by himself. He preached for a whole hour, y'all. Y'all, if you didn't watch it, y'all missed it. But anyway, no, I think it's important if you're going to be in relationship with somebody, um, that you understand what their goal is, what their ambition is, what their purpose is, and making sure that both of you guys' lives are able to accommodate one another. I think often we jump into relationships with others, and we're not completely clear on what it is that other person does. And not only that, but how do we fit within the scope of what they're doing?
Yes.
Is what we're doing going to enable them, help them, empower them, or is it going to be diametrically opposed to what they're doing? Is it going to oppose them? Is it going to hinder and impede them? And it's important to have these conversations. I really do believe as early in the gestation period of the relationship as you possibly can, because the moment that you really begin to make that serious commitment to one another is the moment that you really begin to make room in your life to accommodate whatever purpose, ambition, or goal that that other person has. And if you don't do that, inevitably what's going to end up happening is, if your purpose is strong enough, that purpose may pull you away from your person. So it's important that you really begin to understand what that person's goal is, what that person's ambition is, where they're trying to go, and that both of you guys' purpose on some level line up, so there isn't a pulling away from one another.
Yes, good point. And when you said that part about the scope, you're kind of stepping into my next zone.
That's
So
what I
my
do.
next
I think
zone, my
people's own.
next,
I
and
do.
I had an analogy that I wanted to bring into this. Is there's a portion of what I do from 9 to 5 that entails project management, right? So
Okay.
as I was thinking about that whole approach, I wonder if we ever look at the relationships we are either in or impeding upon to be in from a
Mhm.
project perspective. And I'm saying, I'm not trying to lessen love. I'm just trying to get to the structure of it. And so I look at it like this. I'm going to go really quickly through the steps that we do to break out a project, to get a project started, right? So let's think. And while I'm talking, think of it as two people, and we're discovering this together, right? As two people trying to discover what it is. So first thing first is, you have to come up, like, we have to establish the project name. That's first things first, is who are we? What are
Okay.
we mutually deciding to be? We may say Project Echo. A lot of times we come up with like crazy names, but the point is, you have to say, who are we? And so
Mhm.
if we project so and so and so and so, then let's label that accordingly and say this is who we are. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, what are the goals and objectives of the project? So in the relational point, what are the expectations
Mhm.
of this that we are acquiring of one another? That's another one.
Okay.
Number three, interesting, timeline and milestones. The timeline is basically if we're talking in terms of who has, if we have mutually discussed an end goal, what
Mhm.
does that timeline look like? And the
Okay.
milestones are there anything that we are withholding from one another that may restrict us from getting there when we want to? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got any hang-ups? You still in love with this person? Are you separated? Are all those things like that? You get all that kind of stuff squared away. Then
Mhm.
you say, what are the potential risk of the
Mm.
project? So
Right.
you and me together, looking at this purpose, what are the risks that we potentially pose? What does that risk look like being with you? What's the risk look like being with me? Discuss, have that honest discussion. And
Right.
during this time, this is where you can talk about those purpose things that somebody may have and talk about what that risk may look like coming against that purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
that's that. Okay, we're almost done here. Then assign roles and responsibilities. This is where we say, this is who I am. This is what I do. That's who you are. That's who you, that's what you do. So we
Okay.
look at how we relate to one another and we establish what things we do well together,
Okay.
or what this person do better at. And we go from there and we do that. And last but not least, we talk about what tools and methodologies we need to get this done. So basically, in the relational standpoint, how accurate am I in establishing your love language? Am I giving you what you need from me from the perspective of who you are and what typically works best for you? You go from there, then you sit back and say, with all that said and done, and with us establishing this project, how does this look now with you wanting to still enter into my life? You know what I'm about. You know what I do. Does this project work for you or not? This is the time to establish it before we kick it off and get going, right? And so you got to take a big, because I believe not being properly aligned as it pertains to someone's purpose in whatever that person has in their life. That's what opens the door later down the line to when you hear that famous conversation. Well, with so and so, what's happening with your relationship or marriage? I just think we growing apart. That comes up because misaligned expectations, misaligned understanding of one another's purpose.
Right.
So we end up in these positions where we're confused and we don't know, we don't feel connected, because honestly, if there's no purpose to center it all, you are disconnected.
Okay.
I mean, purpose, from my perspective, purpose is the thing that locks in intention. When you establish purpose, purpose is what you latch on to say, we are going to go for that. We both agree. We both have agreed. We mutually agree to do this. We understand one another's purpose. But this is now, once we say we understand the purpose and that we all both sign off on it, then now that's going to lock in the authentic intentions. And now we can work this out and let this go. But we got to have that conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just say that I think, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think particularly in today's time, this is not a conversation that we're having. Let's be honest.
I know it's not.
In terms of understanding what our purpose is, but not only understanding what our purpose is, but getting our partner to understand what our purpose is, and then also getting them to see where they may or may not fit within our purpose, And I think what happens is we jump into relationships, and we may have some conversation in terms of establishing a foundation that we can work from that helps us to do what we do, that helps us to live our lives and live in agreement with the person that we're with. But I think what happens is sometimes, because we're doing what we do, okay, we got our person. Now I'm on my job. Now I'm on a track to become an executive within my company.
Yes.
Let's be honest. We're not always thinking about how this is going to affect the person that we're with.
Yes.
We often already say yes to a position that may actually work against the relationship that we have, all because we didn't really think about it, because it's not something that we automatically consider when we're making decisions when it comes to our career. And sometimes when it comes to our career, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's in the church world, or whatever sphere that it may be connected to, we don't really give a lot of thought to, okay, in terms of me taking this job, now I got to move my life to Texas. I got to move my life to California. I got to move my life overseas. How is this, in terms of my purpose, my career, my objectives, my goals, my ambitions, how are these things going to actually have an effect on my partner, because the reality is they will have an impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
One way or another, either it's going to be positive or it's going to be negative. It's going to have an impact. So let's do this like this. How are we not having this conversation?
We doing so many other things. And then not to mention you're stepping on my message again. But anyway,
That's what I
the
do.
next
Look. You didn't
no,
no notes, so I got to do
no,
what I got.
right. So the next part I was going to bring up was under the banner of have you considered just two things. One is, do you understand the reason for my existence, meaning my purpose?
Mhm.
Number two, do you possess what it takes to support it or to push that? You understand what I'm saying? We have
Okay.
to say to ourselves, once we have that conversation, you talk to that person, and it don't take long for somebody to tell you, well, I'm going to use you for an example, Bruce. Bruce is my dude. If Bruce talks about his business, he's an entrepreneur, he may flip houses, right? So
Mhm.
if Bruce is talking to a person, and if this person is going to take Bruce seriously, they need to have that conversation, and Bruce is going to say, I'm an entrepreneur, I do a little bit of this and that, but my primary focus is here.
Right.
You can't have the person that's like, Bruce can't have a person in his life that's like saying, well, honey, I'm about to go up here and I got to meet with the such and such people because we got to make this deal happen. Another deal. I'm getting tired of this. You told me we was going down to the harbor to do this. And you like, listen, my world is business. I
Right.
need somebody that complements my business vision. And vice versa. I'm not saying to disqualify what the other person has in their life,
Right.
but the
Right.
two should join. What that person has, what this person has should join.
Yeah.
And so and it should work like that. It shouldn't be this thing, oh, what you do is irritating me or draining me. No, if it's true purpose, it works. I'm not saying that you won't be human and person, you're human. But
Mhm.
overall, love wins because you honest. Purpose is the thing that makes people wake up. Purpose is what makes you get, but you get up and be like, you know what me and this person have is purpose. So
Okay.
I have another push and keep going. Because it's easy to just be like, it's selfish and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you are here. Like, you got to know, everybody that's involved with somebody has to know why you are here. Somebody said I'm buffering. Can you hear me, Adam?
Yeah, you're buffering a lot. I can
Hold
hear
on
you.
for a
You're
second.
coming in and out. Can y'all hear and see me okay? Somebody talk to me. Because he froze up again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. And you're gone. I'm trying to see. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Trisha. Appreciate that. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you now, but you're coming in and out, man.
Okay, all right.
What you got going on over there? What you got going on? What's going on?
Second, right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right.
And you're froze again.
My modem. Give me one.
Okay. We're gonna take up an offering to buy a new Wi-Fi router for Charles. Oh God, because his connection is not good right now. Can we take up an offering for him? Okay, y'all like, why are you making jokes at his expense? Because that's what I do. Oh my God. But no, I think his part of what we want to get to discuss on today in terms of understanding our purpose in our relationships and how we can accommodate our significant other's purpose. It's important to have a conversation, and I don't mean just a one-time conversation, but it needs to be a continual dialogue that we have with one another so that we can understand what each other's purpose is. And here he's back. Are you back? You good?
Yeah, I guess we good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna take up an offering for you so we can get you a new modem out there in
You know,
Texas.
I got a good modem. You know how us black folks. So we always say everything. It's the dumb with the devil. The devil. The
No, it ain't
devil
the devil
don't
this
want us to
time.
have a show. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, so like I said, where'd you leave off at, Adam?
I'm just talking about how as partners, as spouses, as significant others, we need to be able to accommodate our partner's purpose.
Yes, purpose. I'll run through a quick few of these. Purpose is also looked at as once you establish purpose, it gives the other partner what they so almost always want is reassurance.
Yeah.
When you establish purpose between one another and both of you are on the same page, it gives one another like that warm and fuzzy that we always are looking for, that security to be like, oh, so we're locked into what we're supposed to be doing.
Well, you know,
That's good, right?
it's nothing worse than having a purpose and you doing what you do, but your person is not supporting you.
Yes.
They're not. I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest. Everybody wants a cheerleader every now and then with what they do. Everybody wants to be recognized and given accolades and given applause for what they do. There's nothing worse than to be doing what you do and your person doesn't praise you for what you do, or doesn't lift you up for what you do, or doesn't encourage you. Even in times, especially in times of failure, when you don't meet the goal like you want to meet the goal and you're not able to do what you want to do, you need a person that's got your back. They're going to be like, you know what, baby? I see you working hard. Let me give you these words of encouragement. Let me support you. Let me help you with whatever I can possibly do. I'm telling you, there's nothing like having a person that helps you, get to where you need to be, that can support you. And that's equal on both sides for men and women, that we support one another in terms of what we have been purposed to do.
So let me guess, Adam. This must be your wife.
Do. All I'm saying is, look, as you
I'm teasing. I'm only teasing. I'm only teasing. No, I'm seriously just teasing.
But real talk though.
Yeah, no,
I
okay.
appreciate when she shows up when I have to speak out somewhere. I appreciate when she backs me up. When we're talking about the things that I know that I have been gifted and talented for.
For sure.
I appreciate when she's interested in that kind of thing. She's not just tolerating it. She's not just sitting there, oh, well, whatever. You're doing your thing again. Who really cares?
I
appreciate somebody who helps me out. Dude, that's where it's at, man.
I think for any spouse, whether it's the wife or the husband, or even a budding couple that's engaged or whatever, that's heading to that place, to understand and to realize that you have this person that's locked into not only who you are but what you do is a serious blessing, because it's not an easy thing. You know, let me just say this. I can tell you for fact, like along my journey, you know, in and out or inconsistent relationship or out of consistent relationship, or I don't care if it's dating, what I do is very hard to do. Let me tell you why. Because, like, honestly speaking, and I've said this a million times over, when I tell you the backdrop of it, you'll probably laugh, but a million times over, like when I'm telling you honestly, I could be half asleep in the middle of the night, some crazy thought to come to me, I write it in my notes. And then the next day I look at it, I post it. It may be 2, 3, 4, whatever it comes to me. I put them in my notes, I post them. You don't understand, over the years, I could post something and it have no, I'm not going to say that ever in life that I've never been, maybe some things in life, depending on how my life was flowing at that moment, didn't cause me to encourage me to write something, right? I'm not going to ever say that.
Right.
But almost 9 times out of 10, stuff comes, I put it down, I shoot it out. Every time I do this, it's, I mean, like clockwork. It could be as a small joke. Oh, wait a minute. Is this, were you coming for me with this when you said this? Or you get the little things, oh, how come why it gotta be something like this? What about happiness posts? And I'm just like, hold on. I'm
Right.
like, you don't understand me. Like, you don't understand what I'm really
Yeah.
saying. Like, for
Yeah.
me, honestly, I remember saying to a person once, I said, what you want is to bypass clarity and jump to happiness. I
Okay.
said, you have to understand why you arrive at happiness before you just get the Heck, I can sit here and tell you all of the sweet nothings forever. I can write those things forever and be like, oh yeah, don't worry, tomorrow wake up and it's going to be all great. Your life is going to look like this. I could do all of that. That's
Okay.
not what I enjoy doing. I like writing things that provoke thought or make you think about why you want to be where you are. So that's why I do it like that. But when I promise you, I know people may not mean harm because they don't all the way understand you. But this is why shows like this are calling people to action to say, listen, before you hop on this person and what they do, take the time to understand them, align, and say, more than me liking you or being interested in you, am I plugged into what you do? Do I have the evolution in me to really support you like you need to be supported? Vice versa, not just one side, but both people.
Both sides.
But it's more than somebody liking how you look on paper or you look attractive, whatever. I don't need that. I need support. Somebody that understands my world because it's not easy to move in this space. Let's just call it what it is. We are already, I tease Bruce all the time, but Bruce, people don't understand Bruce. I can assure you. I'm gonna tell you why Bruce be on point. In the workplace, we have sessions centered around, because I work in technology, we have sessions purposely centered around what we call it disruptive technology. Technology that disrupts and change the game. When Bruce talks, when Bruce gives his comments, people may not always understand it or not like it, but Bruce's assignment is disruption. And people don't understand that. So you have to have a person that understands you to be able to work with your world in order to push you to be the great man or woman you're supposed to be. And I'm not making this sound like it's all about the men, women. I'm just saying whoever, because you got women who have great visions or are great supporters, and the man needs to not be all about himself and say, hey, baby, how can I best support you? Am I doing a good job at it? Do you need me to do this? What do you need me to do to show yourself is not just being one-sided, but it has to work. The support thing has to work, and it has to be clear to both of us as to why we are here. Like, if we're going to be here, why are we here? And so, if we're going to be here, do we know why? Like, okay, this is who I'm about. That's who you about. Do you feel like we align? You got to have that honest conversation. Do you feel like we align? And people don't want to always answer that question because at the end of the day, sometimes the answer to that could be a make or break. And sometimes you may like a person in a way, even if you don't understand their purpose, or let's just be honest, you don't care about their purpose, but you just like them for whatever reason. But you need to be unselfish and say, look, am I good for this person? Am I good for their mental health? Am I going to cause them, if we had a percentage scale, more peace and happiness in their life, less grief and turmoil because of my insecurities or shortcomings and inadequacies that I may experience? We got to be honest and say that, because we are inflicting more of the bad than we are of the good in people that we say we love life.
You know what, though? And let me just add this, because you've said it several different times. But I want to make sure that everybody is cluing in on this one aspect that we have a tendency to gloss over, and that is understanding.
Yes.
Absolutely. If y'all don't get nothing else from this conversation that we're having today, I need you to grasp this principle. It is absolutely imperative that you work at understanding your partner. Look, you don't have to know everything about them. You don't have to know every absolute detail of their lives. But what you have to do is you have to begin to understand them. And what that requires time, that requires an investment of you to sit down in the school of your partner and learn them. I go to
Yes.
school. I go to my wife's school every day because I guarantee you there's something that is there that I don't quite understand, that I need to understand in order for my relationship to continue to make progress as it does. Understanding is necessary. The word says, in all you're getting,
get
get
understanding.
understanding.
Yes.
I guarantee you, if you begin to work at understanding your partner, it'll shed a light on their purpose. Now, you're not going to understand all of their purpose, but it will begin to unveil and reveal what their purpose is. But you have to make the effort. You have to be deliberate. You have to be intentional in terms of understanding your partner. If y'all don't get nothing else out of this conversation,
get that.
You need an understanding of them.
Yes.
And just vice versa, they need an understanding of you. They need to attend your school, they need to attend your university, learn your language, learn your likes, dislikes, your pet peeve, so that they can better accommodate you and you can better accommodate them. Here's the thing though, throughout the years, as people, as human beings, we go through change. We go through evolution, we go through development, which means you'll never completely know your person.
Yes.
But you got to start somewhere. You got to begin to take notes, mental notes on the person that you're with and learn them, understand them to the point where you help them and not hinder them in doing what their purpose to do, accomplishing whatever ambition that they have so that they are fulfilled in this life.
And here's another thing. Be fair in your assessments. And this is what I mean of that understanding. Sometimes we come into relationships so full of what we feel we are supposed to do, right? That we just only care about our trajectory track. And we only, we want you to be in our life, but we want you to be in our life to follow suit with what I see only. And that's not a full understanding. It needs to be both sides in an orderly sort of fashion, the way you all are pushing this thing along. Because I've seen scenarios where men get with women and the woman got the vision and she feels like the Lord woke her up in the morning time and washed her back and told her what to do. So, you got a whole idea. The Lord that said we should go over here to the north. And I'm like, well, what is the purpose of the head? If the head is blind, what is the point? Why should he be up there if he's the head, if he's blind? But my point is, this is what I'm telling you.
Your back?
The Lord woke up and said, my daughter, I have a plan for you, my daughter. Go to the tell Adam to go to the north with you, and we shall find a land of good and plenty. Get on somewhere. But my point is, that's why I say in getting an understanding, there's a level of submission on both sides. Honestly, in getting a fair assessment of who you're dealing with, there has to be submission. It can't just be I'm strong or he's the bull. It got to be a fair assessment and say, how if we're going to assess this, what works here and what works best, and go from there. Because I promise you, we can get real carried away. I mean, look, I look at it like this. Purpose to me, the establishment of purpose is the concrete that cements the relationship. When you get it, it cements it. That's what you want. Because to be honest, without purpose, your justification for your existence can quickly wither. Without it, like if you don't realize that if you haven't discovered purpose, the relationship can wither quickly because there's nothing to hang on to, but just words and I like you and I'm hanging out with you. That's not enough to sustain anything.
Yeah,
you got to be a little. It has to be more than that. I mean, from an ideal world. If we're looking at this whole picture from an ideal world, we are basically all just one big puzzle with misaligned pieces to be correctly fitted.
Wow.
We're one big puzzle that has misaligned pieces that needs to be correctly fitted. And so we all fit, but you need to find where you fit. And there is no master puzzle that fit with everybody. There is a specific person you fit well with, and you have to take the time to get to that person, to understand where you are. And that means sometimes pulling back, take your foot off the gas and idle a bit. You don't got to be 100 mode every 5 minutes. You're not going to understand something if you're passing by it at light speed. You got to take the time to understand people, and I think we gotta really understand that.
Yeah, you know what too, and something that just occurred to me. And I think this happens more often than not, and that is in terms of having families, those that are married. What'd you say? What?
I'm laughing at Bruce. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was laughing at
Bruce said her purpose is to help me do mine. Pray for me. Oh gosh. He tell you he's here to disrupt. Let Bruce do his disruption. It's all right.
Tristan want me to send her my cash out. I'm about to send my cash out.
Don't play with him. Don't play with him, Trish, because he'll put it right on up the thing too. Thank you, Lord. Bless me. Yeah, he put it right on up there. I tell you. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that I think. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's have a conversation about the fact that when we have families and we have kids and children and whatever like that, often what happens is, particularly with the mother, the children becomes their purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that they're doing. That's their goal. That's their ambition. Their objective to complete. But here's the thing, though. So after you raise the kids, or after you do what you do, then what is your purpose? Because that particular purpose has been completed. That particular purpose has been accomplished. So my question is, what is next? See, this is what I want to get us at. I want us to understand that everything is not a monument in terms of it being stationary. Okay. It shouldn't just be a fixed point. I already said earlier, as human beings, we are always in the process of evolution. We're always in the process of development. We're always in the process of change. So once I complete this particular objective, it's on to the next thing, which means I need to have my eyes on the horizon for what my next purpose is, because I've already accomplished this purpose. As a person who is learning to understand my person, whose purpose has been completed, then I also need to pay attention to the cues. Okay, my person has finished their purpose. Let me help them find out what their next purpose is, so that they don't walk around wandering, meandering aimlessly without any purpose in their life. Again, this is not a question that we often talk about, because what happens is after we raise the kids, unfortunately, sometimes we separate and we go in different directions. Yeah. Because this particular purpose of raising kids is complete now. It's done.
Wow.
Real talk. Let's talk for real. Okay. Yeah. And now we need to work together to find out, okay, what's our next thing? What are we going to do after this? Because I think it's important for the longevity of the relationship that it not just end with the raising of the kids, but now we're continuing on to the next frontier, the next horizon, if you will.
Wow, man, that's good stuff. You know, another thing that we're talking about, that whole avenue of folks talking about, well, you know, we're going in different directions. We're growing apart. I think we no longer understand each other. We're becoming different people. Guess what? Purpose reduces the occurrence. Well, being aware of purpose reduces the occurrence of boredom. Because people get bored, but if you don't, the quickest way to get bored is no vision, no purpose.
You're not engaged.
You're not engaged. You just there. But purpose also drives unity.
Yeah.
Nothing better than two people that understand the purpose at hand. And that drives the unity. It gives you something to communicate about. It gives you both something to be passionate about, something to be both upset about, something to both say, hey, that's okay. We're going to be better next time. We're going to do better at this next time. But without that, you begin to work in silos. You begin to, this person is worried about their own vision. You worried about yours. There become competition. Let's just say, you know, if we're talking in your world, Adam, one night you had to go preach and you did a good job. The other person and what they do well, they over here, well, we had a good turnout too. You sitting there like, we a team though. We're not competing, but that happens when you don't have a mutual, when you don't have a mutual purpose, you know, that happens. I always refer back to this one thing when I hear folks talk about growing apart in the sense of purpose. Think about how most of us, if we all grew up anywhere near trees. We could
Okay.
almost go back home today and see that same tree standing there. Now, granted, weather has took place. It may not be perfectly standing as it was as you were a kid, but I
Yeah.
can assure you, if that tree went up like this, it may have had one or two branches that grew together and stuck, and
Right.
those same branches
I
are
see what you're saying.
standing. So
Right.
just like a tree can withstand and withstand the withering of weathering and all kinds of things, so can two people that understand purpose, if
Right.
that's what they are committed to do.
Yeah.
So, we have to say before we always are so quick to quit, have we assessed the reason we are both here? And am I doing my best to help you get to where you need to be, and vice versa?
Right.
And go from there. Yeah.
Let me just say one thing. I'm going to kind of backtrack on something that you said, because I kind of want to push against you just a little bit.
Well,
Um,
come on. No, I'm just playing.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm playing.
So I know you said that it's important that we both have the same purpose, and that's good. That there's nothing wrong with that. We should aim to have the same purpose. I think I would take a little issue with is the fact that we don't always necessarily have to have the same purpose. Here's my point with this. My point is this: that when I understand you, I come to a place where I appreciate the difference of your purpose. I accommodate the difference of your purpose, and I help you with your purpose, regardless of whether your purpose is in my direction or it's in a completely different direction. See, this is the beauty of being in a relationship that works. That because I have committed myself to you and love you the way that I do, I'm willing to be, watch this, I'm willing to be flexible and stretch myself to the point where I make room for you and what you do specifically, which may be completely, totally separate from what I do. And it's cool. We don't always have to have the same purpose. That's idealistically. Idealistically, yes, we should want to have the same purpose. Absolutely. Yeah. But reality says I'm going to have something different and you're going to have something different. Yes. You may work, watch this, and I'm talking about my own life. You work in a retail store. Your hours are completely different than mine hours.
Yeah.
I work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So where do the two meet? We meet where we make room at. That's where we meet. We meet where we make the space to meet together and come together as one. That's what it's about.
Well,
So
I hope I didn't.
Just because you don't have the same purpose doesn't mean we don't walk in the same direction.
Well, no, I wasn't. I hope I didn't give that impression to the people. I wasn't saying your purpose should be the same. Right. I said they should be understood, and what you do and what that person has to offer in relation to that should work.
Yes.
You can have two different things that you both do, but you both should be an available complement to one another's purposes. Absolutely. That's all I was saying. Yeah, that's all I was saying. Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, this is a real thing. I just it makes me think about this because I think about how many, how many times we see every day somebody. First, we see the announcement of somebody getting together. Oh, they'll be cute together. Then all of a sudden, we counting down the time to see the post to say so and so filed today for divorce. So it makes you sit up and wonder, what is happening? Are we just not understand? Like, are we just getting in here and we getting bored that quick, or we can't stay in the rain that much that we just have to leave? Or it caused me to think and say, I don't think we're getting a grasp of the people that we are with. We're not understanding really who they are outside of the shallow water levels, and we're not understanding their purpose.
And it speaks to, so Bruce just asked a question. He said, what about when that nature kicks in and they take their inch and run a mile? Because you're going to have those people where they, you're with me, but now I want to run. I need you to do this all the way with me. I need you literally to ignore your purpose, forget about what you're doing, and I need you to come all the way on board with me. What we going to do about that, Charles? What we doing about that?
I think, honestly, that's a conversation. Like if I'm envisioning two people being married because I would do something like that is for a marriage. Me
Mm.
personally, I'm thinking that's a decision for a married couple, because when you all are not married, you can have the best of intentions and you can be growing there, but
Mhm.
some decisions like that are what you may call life decisions. Those
Yeah.
things lead them to the covenant people, right? And so
Right.
in the
Right.
position of the covenant sector, I would say, it's, you got to have a conversation, and just because you might be faced with that decision doesn't make it a deal breaker. Because let's think about it. Let's look at it like, let's take you, Adam. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, one day, here comes, you get the big call, and somebody saying, Adam, we want you on the He Motions tour with Jakes. We found about you preaching, and we want to grab you right now. That's something
Right.
that you're going to say, now, babe, they said that they need me. Now this warrants a conversation, because it's
Absolutely.
saying they're asking for me to go on this tour, and
Right.
they're gonna pay me X amount of stipend. And the woman's gonna likely say, "But what about your job and this, that?" She's gonna think about the bottom line, right? So you
Right.
gotta have that conversation to say, here is an opportunity for my purpose to elevate.
Yeah.
Do I take this, or do I stay safe and tell them thanks for reaching out to me? I gotta go to 9 to 5 tomorrow and love my wife and take care of the home.
Right.
And so this is where the risk of support comes into play.
Yeah.
When I talked about in that project thing, the risk, you got to
Right.
say, if I'm going to do this, do my wife believe in me enough that if I go out
Mhm.
here and maybe I fall on my face with the job thing, is she
Yeah.
going to support me to get back up and get back in alignment again? Should
Right.
it not work? Because I personally think if you're a gifted person, opportunities will come that's
Right.
going to cause for that conversation. I
Yeah.
don't think God is going to have us being mundane for the rest of our life. He's going to present the opportunities. You just have to be wise enough to know when it comes and when
Mhm.
it warrants that conversation with my spouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair answer. That's a fair, just answer. Again, it's important that, again, that we understand our person. Okay, so let me kind of like, because I think I know where Bruce was going with this. Let me just kind of like put this out there. Anybody who wants to exploit or manipulate or take you for granted in terms of taking
Mm,
that entire mile, I don't know. If you're already married to him, God bless your heart. Y'all need to have a
yeah.
conversation with what's going on. Because as far as I'm concerned, it ain't about us taking a mile or taking an inch. It's about what I'm giving and what's being offered. Okay.
No, no.
Somebody who's taking something, you need to question what their motives are. If they're taking something that you're not offering,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how
So,
that works out.
so Trish brings up a good point to chew on, Adam. She
Mhm.
said in that same scenario,
Yeah.
she says, I'm going with my husband. Be not afraid to take an opportunity. Now, here's the key.
Mhm.
Suppose your household is set up to you be like, now, baby, you're going to have to stay here and work. I'm just being honest. Not everybody bag is the same. You
Right.
may be good old Adam working your 9 to 5, and maybe you're comfortable, but you ain't bringing home. It ain't raining. So into your mind, you're thinking, now this next opportunity could set me up in that place. But for
Right.
now, we depend on two to make this house roll. So if
Right.
your wife tells you, I'm going with you, how does that conversation look? You know?
Come on, let's go. Well, so here we got here's
Yeah,
the thing. So you need to look at just a very pragmatic, practical way.
yeah.
What can we afford to do?
Mm,
That's just, I mean,
okay.
that's just the real things of it. How much
Yeah,
finance can we allocate to this particular endeavor and have it be a successful endeavor? Let's just get real. Let's crunch the numbers. Let's
yeah.
figure out not just money wise, but let's make sure that we got all of our logistics covered. Let's make sure that we got all of these different things taken care of before we launch out there. See, my thing is this. I don't ever believe that it's always going to be just one conversation that you
For
have
sure.
and
For sure.
everything is okay. It's going to be an
No.
ongoing progressive dialogue that takes place over a period of time that
For sure.
allows you to find the answers to the questions that you have. But if we don't ever begin that dialogue with an open-mindedness, with a transparency and an honesty,
Yeah.
then we
Yeah.
don't ever arrive to the answers that we need to help us to accommodate the purpose that we have. And
Now,
it's either my purpose or her purpose.
and now Trish is helping the show again.
Here
Now,
we go.
here's a common thing in the church community.
Mm-mm.
We make the Lord co-sign for everything.
Yeah,
And you see what Trish said, trust God to provide. Now, God is saying to himself, trust me to know that I put common sense in you. And if you both cannot afford to be absent from the home, don't be ignorant of
Right,
Satan's devices and
right.
sit still. But I'm not teasing Miss Trish.
No,
I'm just
no.
making a point. That's how we think. We're programmed to be like, yeah, well, if the Lord will fix it, he's gonna work it out. And yeah, but
Well,
him
we
working
do
it
that.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that all the time. We always
Yeah.
want to put it on God, not realizing. See, I'm gonna say something that's gonna make y'all mad, but it's okay. I love y'all anyway. We say we trust God, absolutely.
Yeah.
But God also trusts us.
For
He
sure.
trusts us enough to take
Yes.
responsibility for the
Yeah.
decisions that we make, have
Yeah.
enough intellect and knowledge to be able to navigate successfully until we accomplish the goal. I'm
Yes.
telling you, it's okay. Yeah, it is God. He's going to make a way. He is Jehovah.
Yeah.
He's going to make a way out of no way. But the problem comes in at how do we manage the way? How do we manage the means? How are we responsible with what he gives us to be able to do what we need to do? Just like Charles said, okay, if we're both in the home, both of us can't go.
Yeah.
If we don't have the finances to be able to support that.
Yes.
Only one of us can be able to go. If we decide that's the direction that we're going to go in. Let's be real. Let's be honest about that. Ain't no sense of getting mad about it. Ain't no sense of getting an attitude about it. We got to do what we got to do.
But you know how I think that, and I'm saying this being a product of somebody who grew up on the pew of church, right? From day one. But the point is, I have learned over time that we have put all kind of capes and everything on God. And we forget the fact that if the goal is for us to be Christ-like, that means there are figments of me in you to be able to think like I would and think wise and think smart and go forward without always saying, throw it on him. No, we can throw it on him, but we ultimately, he blessed us to have wherewithal, to be smart, to use wisdom. And not everything is to just skate the term, the Lord, right? I mean, granted, we know he got our back, honestly, but at the same time, we gotta be wise about it. And sometimes, people will tell you, "Oh, I got crazy faith." But I can guarantee you, somebody who tell you they got crazy faith got a lot of crazy stories of adversity. Because with having crazy faith takes, you got to have crazy risk, and with those risks, you're going to take some falls. Now you're going to get blessed, okay, but there's going to be a cause and effect to your decision history, and so it's okay. And I'm not saying, by no means am I saying don't step out on faith with your partner and trust God and believe, because I can tell you I've seen faith in action and I've seen miracles happen, but I've also learned to not be rash and don't try to push everything on God, but use the common sense and the Christ-like abilities that he's put in us. That's all.
You want to buy a $500,000 house, but you only $30,000 a year, but you believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let me tell you something that's so funny. I was at a dealership back in 2021, and I kid you not, I'm in Chicago. I bought this car in Chicago. I'm at the dealership. The guy, I'm looking around, and I'm so-and-so. Now, I came in there to say, I knew that day I was going to get this car I was looking for. And it wasn't about anything being great. I just knew that it didn't take God to know if you had a certain credit, you can get it. If you got your down payment or not, if they requirement, you're going to get the car. It don't have you just go in there and say, I'm going to take the $1 million of the dealership. It's just that. All right. So I remember going in there. I heard this couple, they were some cars over. They were looking at a G-Wagon. Now, this particular car, I'm not saying it's out of people's reach, but this particular car was 200 and some plus thousand. It was bad, right? They were looking at this G-Wagon. They were talking, and the man kept asking them, so all right. The man kept saying, hey, this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. So what do you, he was trying to drive them to be like, so what's next? Basically, he was trying to get out of them, can you afford it? Do you know what these people said? We were at a revival this week. This is what they said. Now, it was on a Friday when I was at the dealership, but the people said we were at a revival this week, and the leader of the house, he asked me, he said, "Do you have a lack?" And he said, "Yes, I'm needing to get a car to take my family around." And he said the leader said to him, "Go into the dealership and command the vehicle that you desire. God gives you the desires of your heart." So that man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I applauded him for being bold, right? But I was embarrassed at the same time to be like, come on, like, let's just be. And here's the thing: the man said, "Well, this is how much it's cost.
Right.
It'll probably take X amount of down payment, and to get you done at such and such bank to get a decent rate, you'll need such and such score." Do you know what the man then said?
What?
"Well, we can go on in there. I don't have any down payment for it, and we work in 3 jobs, and we doing this." It just sounded burdensome. It didn't sound free at all. I was like, this sounds like something bound. But nonetheless, I just watched it, but I learned something by listening to them. I was just like, we get in the name of faith, sometimes we put ourselves in some crazy positions.
We do.
Period.
Yeah. And then we done got a little off track. But I think that here's the thing that I think we need to take away from this aspect of the conversation, and that is the fact that you need to absolutely pray, definitely pray, seek God for His direction, have faith, absolutely have faith. But then there comes a part where you have to participate. You have to use the mind that He gave you to be able to think critically about the next decision that you're going to make. And that's really what it comes down to. He's given you every tool that you're going to ever need to be able to work successfully and achieve every goal that God has given you in your life.
Yes.
You'll begin to think about what you're doing. Okay, there's nothing wrong with thinking, saints. I know we have to stir it up right here,
Absolutely.
but there ain't nothing wrong with thinking. Every now and then, prayer is good. Absolutely. I pray every day. But every now and then, you got to use this.
So, and I guess the key to all I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with dreaming and having crazy faith. Yeah. But because He's not going to make a fool of Himself. So He's not going to position you to receive something from Him He knows that you're not yet at a place to handle. Yeah. He'll give it to you even if you're not all the way there, He's going to give it to you when you're on your rise or you're at a place where He knows you can be a good steward over it. He's not going to give you something that's going to wreck your demise because you want it. Yeah. He's just like a good parent, just like any regular parent that loves their kid. You're not going to do something to set them up for demise. Right. You're going to do something that's going to help them going forward.
I mean, what's the point of trying to teach a 5-year-old how to drive?
Yeah.
They're not prepared. They're not ready. They're not at the stage where they can even handle something like that.
But I know this isn't church and Bible study, but Mrs. Trish's message is just stirring my wheels. Here's the thing. The last thing. She says, "Hear from God and follow Him." Here is the message of the hour.
Oh God.
When you are discovering your purpose with your person, if this is we're assuming this is a male or female person to purpose situation. In that situation, we got to sometimes ask ourselves, aside from loving a person, aside from desiring to be with a person, do I trust them enough to defer to their vision? Or do I respect them enough to receive from them? If you're with a man or a woman that you don't receive anything from them, you don't belong there. I can assure you that. If you don't trust, if Adam came home today and said, "Baby, God's been really dealing with me about X, Y, Z, and He's pointing me in this direction to do this. What do you think?" And then are you crazy? You got to have a conversation about that. I'm not saying you guys it's a deal breaker automatically, but you need to have a conversation to get an understanding. Because because what I've noticed nowadays, what I see in social media and so on and so forth, it's beginning to look like you hear all these things, you hear people narrative about you're not being a real man and all this kind of stuff like this. It's like it's almost like we are picking and choosing when we want a man to show up. Wow. It's either you let him be who he is in his full totality, or just don't regard him at all. But he's not a genie in a box. Men weren't created to be genies in boxes. We're not created to just be here to deliver miracles and blessings to everybody else.
Some of us act like
hello, but that's not what we were here for. So my point is, you got to be able to say, first of all, if I'm a man, help me to be humble, to be able to hear from you, so that I can exude the belief from my wife that I am hearing from you, so she can trust in me. If you're in a godly house, she wants to know that you are hearing from God, so she can trust you. Okay. And what he wants to know is, I have a wife that's going to go with me. She's not going to go against the grain. She's going to go with me. You understand what I'm saying? You need that. You got to have that, because there's too many marriages now where we are combative, we strong arming one another, and nothing is working. It's becoming something ugly because folks don't want to agree. We want to be combative because we feel our way is the way. It can only be a trousers and a dress in the closet. It can't be two pants, or it can't be two skirts. So we got to pick our sides. I promise you, because we doing this stuff nowadays. Nowadays, it's like you don't know who got the dress and who got the pants, because it's that out of order. That's how we are nowadays.
So was that next week's topic? Is that you don't already started with next week's topic today? Is that what we're doing?
We gotta get in our positions, man. We gotta get in positions. Think about it. I don't care what nobody say. You can take the smartest woman, most brilliant woman. She can be a billionaire. Make no mistake about it. She still wants to reside in her feminine energy. She wants to know she's with a man that she can be feminine, even though she may have way more than him. But if she respects him, she just wants him to let her be in her feminine energy. She don't want to feel like, I gotta be a man lady. I gotta have man energy that you're losing, that you're not exuding. I want to be able to be feminine, so I could be like, that's my man. I'm proud of him. You don't want to feel like you got to be in a house regulating the marriage flow, where this is going, what's not happening. You controlling everything. Yeah. That says, if you feel like you have to control everything, that simply says you don't respect your husband.
Wow.
Period. Okay. Read the book. I guarantee you, this ain't a shameless plug, but I guarantee you, if y'all get that book, you see from A to Z. You say you love me, but you say you love me, but do you respect me? It has it spelled out, all 15 men added parts of what that means and what that looks like, just from our perspective. That's all. We're not trying to control the narrative. We're just letting y'all see how we see respect on our side. That's all.
Yeah, and that was actually the third topic for this 1 hour. That was actually topic number 3, guys. Okay. Anyway. You done brought up on a tangent again, y'all. Y'all not praying for him.
They be picking with me, man. No, but just circling all the way, bringing it all the way back to people that might have joined the show late. We had the title of the show, Why Are You Here? And that's basically saying, we just came up to say, we just wanted to put something on people's mind, to think when we are in these relationships, we're embarking upon relationships, or heck, it may be something to think about even as a married couple where you're already married. Ask yourself, have I adequately assessed my person's purpose? Have they assessed mine? Do they align? Am I the right kind of supportive spirit for that? Are they the supportive spirit for that? And let that be your guide to base where you are. We got to stop picking relationships simply because somebody got a bag, somebody's cute, somebody's thick, or somebody's a pastor. None of that means anything if purpose does not align. Period.
That's right. Real talk.
All right.
That was good.
I saw CC pop on here. I meant to respond to CC. CC said, I think CC is maybe be under the auspices that we saw her. I didn't see. I'm going to look, CC. She says, I see you glean from my message. Why are you here? I didn't see it, but I will make sure I go to your page, CC, and look. CC is a minister, for those of you all don't know, down in Jacksonville. We'll take a look. I'll take a look. I didn't see it, so let's just say, CC, that we are aligned. We're aligned in our thoughts and where the world is. Appreciate you supporting. So thanks again, guys, for being here. For folks that may have seen us for the first time, we appreciate you stepping in, commenting, and being a part of the show. We will be back here again next Thursday, same time, 4:30 Central Standard Time, with some more heat topics to keep this thing going. Appreciate y'all. All we trying to do in total is heal the world one heart at a time. That's it. Nothing more. Like Adam, go ahead and put your cash app up. No, anyway, all right, y'all.
The book is still on sale. I can post the link so you can purchase the book. Man,
yes.
Okay. I see.
All right, y'all. Much love. See y'all later.
All right. Guys, peace.